Welcome to Clean and Sober. My name is Nick. I'm not a professional, but I am a recovering addict. Just sharing my experience, strength, and hope. And through topics, hope to help you if you are looking for recovery and finding things and the means and ways to get more recovery into you. Hopefully these little topics will help you. Anyways, today it's boundaries. Do you have boundaries? Have you set boundaries? And in recovery, boundaries is really important. It keeps us in a particularly a very safe place. We'll talk more about it right after this. Let's go. Welcome back. Welcome back. So getting into the topic of boundaries, it's something that I believe is misled in different shapes, forms. Externally, boundaries is creating a safe place. And what I find in boundaries is very simply protecting ourselves. In early recovery, once you get clean and sober, you try to find methods in keeping ourselves safe. For you to keep yourself safe, first things first. I already spoke about it in my different videos. One of which is eliminating or cleaning up house. And that can mean many things, but in cleaning house is not just cleaning your own home, but it's removing things, paraphernalia, removing the drugs, removing the alcohol, removing reminders or things that we would use, such as shot glasses, wine glasses, beer cans, anything. Remove it all. Drug paraphernalia, remove the needles, syringes, clean that up, get it out. With the other things is like taking your cell phone, and most of us do have cell phones or our phones, taking our phones and completely deleting all the numbers of all the people that we used to associate with. All of those people that we used to associate with, where definitely don't need to communicate with. Now you can, on cell phones nowadays, you can cut them off. You can block them. You can just delete them. Just get rid of them and don't call them. Better yet, if you can just let every single one of them know that through social media, because most of us do have social media, let them know that you change your life and you're moving on, and you cut them off. Just cut them off. Cut them out, because you are now going to start taking care of yourself. And to do that, you need to create some type of boundaries or limits. Now, boundaries are not always long term. There's different kinds. There's the short term, there's temporary, there's permanent, and then there's like medium length, long length. But that is for you to decide. You will need to decide, what is temporary and what is permanent, or what is short term and what is long term. For example, just cleaning house, that's more of a permanent fitting, permanent fixture. Clean house, get rid of all the things. But the temporary things could be like internal, is not allowing myself to go into, for example, I'm not going to go to family functions, because family functions, obviously everybody would indulge in and consume alcohol or some kind of drugs. I would say that would be more of a temporary thing, where you get to the point in your recovery or in your sobriety that you can actually get strong enough in your sobriety to be able to go back and visit family, and being able to see family, see friends, and whatever the environment is. But environmental, which could be family picnic or going out somewhere where it'd be like a beachside patio where they're serving food, where you're going to be with somebody. Even though they do have alcohol, you can actually be able to go and visit your friends or family that way. But those would be temporary. So that's just an example of the situations. Now, in my notes, I also have other things, but I like to. But what I find is when we are using addicts and we're consuming and we're doing whatever we're doing, it's a situation where we just clouded our minds. We wanted to escape, and that's what it is. I clouded my mind and I wanted to escape. I found that with that, I didn't have any boundaries. Now I create a boundary where I don't allow others to overstep. So I will, or overstep my boundaries, my rules in my house: no drinking, no smoking, no drugs, and everything be great. Get together, perfect. Also, when I'm with others, I don't talk about how or glorifying the drug use or glorifying the drinking. It's just not me. It's not my lifestyle. There's other things to talk about anyways in life. There's other things that we can enjoy and indulge on, like who has kids, who got married, and who's got a really good education, who got that new job. Those are good examples of a good communication. So to set this boundaries, we need to be, there's like 3 points. The first point, as an addict or recovery, we need to decide what we want. What is our boundaries? And we need to understand is how do these boundaries make us feel? We need to communicate that. We need to communicate that with ourselves, jot them down, set them up, put them in place. Just something that we can have for ourselves. Like, because there's boundaries for ourselves. We need to be able to allow ourselves, the ability to take care of ourselves, take a health day, take a day off work, because for some reason we need to do that to take care of ourselves. These are bad. These are like allowing ourselves that little bits of just being healthy. I mean, you understand this. It's not being selfish, but it's allowing ourselves to take care of ourselves, and that's where it starts. Where it starts is so we don't lose ourselves, and obviously, as being an addict that we lost ourselves so many times over and over and over again. And what I find is to find ourselves, which is one of our biggest things to get started on. Once we find who ourselves are, we find our boundaries, we start to take care of ourselves more. Things like, we exercise for better health. We eat healthier for better health, for being a better self. Do things that we need to do to take care of ourselves, our mental health, our physical well-being, all those things we start to do. So those things you can find by just writing down things you want to do and start doing it. Like, start putting those things together to set up your boundaries. So, and for example, I lost myself so many times, and that's what using as an addict, or when I was drinking and getting drunk all the time, I went and just lost myself. I just did what everybody else wanted. But you know what? I had to find out what Nick wanted. And I had to lose myself so many times before I actually was able to actually set the boundaries and not allow people to overstep my boundaries. That I had to do by clearly communicating to myself what I wanted. This leads into the second step, and that is communicating to others not to overstep our boundaries or your boundaries. Sometimes you have to teach people. Sometimes you have to be consistent, and you have to be consistent, but you have to be polite. You can't be rude. You can't be ignorant about it, but you have to understand that when you communicate to them, just clearly communicate what your boundaries are. Once you get those steps across compassionately, you should be able to, they should be able to understand that your boundaries are important. Part of it. The third, the third, the third, you need to stay firm. So, meaning that you have to stay firm is don't forget. They will. It's like trying to teach people or teach others that, look, you can't keep doing this. Or, hey, we discussed this, and just to let you know, it really hurts my feelings, and it's just, I can't do this. Or just be compassionate and be consistent. You need to let them know that they automatically or they somehow accidentally overstep their boundaries. Your boundaries are important. Don't let people overstep your boundaries. Take care of yourself, and that's what you got to do. So don't just give in, because that would be just dangerous. So you have to stay firm just in case they forget. You also have to build awareness. So sometimes just, those little things. Hey, look, hey, don't forget, no alcohol. It's the alcohol drug-free home. And I'm just using that as an example. Hey, I don't go to bars. Hey guys, I can't go to an adult establishment at this time because it's just my mental health just can't do it right now. It's just, hey, how about doing this? How about let's go for a round of golf? Yes, they still have, probably, the substances there, like the alcohol. However, you're not sitting at the bar. So if you're playing golf, instead of going into the clubhouse, you would say, I have to go home. Just using the tricks of the trade, the tools to say, I just need to go home. My day's up. I'm tired, exhausted, but thanks. It was a great visit. And then you move on. When you get the point across, we just have to use a little tough love. Sometimes it hurts their feelings. Feelings are hurt. But in the long run, your mental health, your physical and well-being is way more important, because setting boundaries is being selfish. And once you establish that, you're going to be a better person, you're going to be more positive, you're going to be more of an influence on others in a positive way. And to do that, you need to just set the boundaries. Once they're established and you communicate that clearly, you can set new ones, you can change them. It doesn't need to stay the same all the time. But as time grows, your boundaries change and they grow and they adapt. So, anyways, that's it for me today. But my question of the day is, have you set boundaries? And have you watched this video? Or is there anything in the information that I just provided to you believe that will help you to set your boundaries? If so, write a comment below. If you like what you seen today and you enjoyed the video, subscribe. And if you liked it, click like. Love's appreciated. And recovery is a journey. Keep it one day at a time. See you in the next video. Bye for now.